Well, hey there, and welcome back to a whole new episode of
Funny
Blue.
pizza.
That's right. And where can they find us there, Christopher?
Funny
Blue.com.
pizza. There you go.
Yes, so we are so excited you guys are here, whether you're watching it on YouTube or listening to the podcast. We'd love to hear your comments and subscribe, but we don't want to waste any more time because, Christopher, tell them we got somebody really cool waiting backstage.
Yes, we have somebody really cool waiting backstage. You might not was that good? Was that good? I just copied you.
Yeah, that was
You
just
might
that was
not
right.
recognize his face, but I'm pretty sure you've heard his voice. Blah, 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 blah. Epic voice guy.
I'm pretty sure they've seen my face. My name is Tom Hardy. Worked on Spider-Man. I crawled out of I had a lot of pelts. I get that so many times, like, dude, you look like Tom Hardy. I'm like, no, I'd have to squint and make my lips look bigger.
John Bailey, ladies and gentlemen. Epic
Hello.
voice guy. How you doing,
I just
John?
so love your name, Christopher. It's so long. It's just like you see it on screen. It's like it looks like a train.
That's a true story, by the way. Christopher Walken actually said that during an interview. He said, you go by Chris Walken. And I was like, yes, Chris. He said, I was at the theater and I saw my name on the screen, Christopher Walken. It was so long. It looked like a train.
That's crazy. So what's going on, John?
Nothing.
What are you up to these days?
I was sleeping on the sidewalk under a heated blanket, and they were like, "Hey, you want to do this podcast?" And I'm like, "All right, I guess. I got nothing better to do. Just out here begging for we'll do voices for food."
Nice. Yeah.
Worked for that one guy, Got that great Kraft macaroni and cheese gig. I never got that. Must be all the chemtrails that you're breathing out there, I guess. It just makes
So
you
what
better
is your
voice actor.
background? How did you even get into doing what you're doing now with voice work?
Before time began. It was a dark and stormy night. We just walked out of the theater, and some random guy shot my parents. And I swore
I'll be a
vengeance.
voice guy.
I'm justice.
So it's a pretty long story, but I'll try to do the condensed version. I'm no longer with my former wife, but at the time, voices was one of those things that was more like a party trick, something to make people like me or to, just break the awkwardness between meeting new folks. And just realized my phone's on. It's probably going to ring 50 times before you guys even get out the phone. So when I met her, she was like, "You're really good at voices," and I did some for her family, kind of getting good with her family because they were big into politics. So it was all back then. It was all George W. Bush and Bill Clinton, the stuff that they were familiar with. There's still a little bit of Ronald Reagan, a lot of presidents. They're attending that presidential debate between. I should do a presidential debate between all of the presidents.
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
Reagan. You had your turn, Reagan. Oh, let me be clear.
Is that Ronald Reagan? He's a great guy. He's a blue collar guy. It's like, wow, all this money's out there.
He sounds so much like Owen Wilson. Biden sounds so much like Owen Wilson. He's just like, he's this close going, wow. Anyway, so
That'd be a great buddy movie, wouldn't it?
political voices was kind of, and then she just saw how great I was at voices. And I had told her kind of as a joke that, I'm going to move to LA and I'm going to be a voice actor one day. But I was on a date without a chaperone. We didn't go out together. We met there. But there was a rule against I was in Bible college at the time. There was a rule against in the college, you couldn't go on an unchaperoned date. And we were sitting across from each other, but there were other people that were there that were at my college. And I knew that they were listening to my conversation. I was like, you know what? I was always curious because gossip was really bad. I was always curious. I was like, I wonder how long it's going to take for this to get around. So I was like, yeah, I'm moving to LA and I'm going to be, said it real loud. And I could tell that they were like, and the very next morning, the first person that walked up to me was like, "Oh, John, I heard that you're moving to Los Angeles." I was like, I freaking knew it. I didn't even take a whole day. It got through the same night, the next morning.
Wow.
Anyway, and I joked, but then I ended up doing that. So,
Your words have a lot of power. They're a very particular set of skills.
So anyway, there was an online ad that popped up after we'd gotten married. And back then, MySpace was all the rage. That was the only primary social media platform. And it was the keywords that you put into your profile were actually, that was word searches for them to put up advertisements. Well, we just didn't know that at the time. And this is before spam, pop-up blockers, that sort of thing. And there
Wow.
was a local studio that I don't even know if it exists anymore, but it was called Studio Center, and they did union and non-union work, but they kind of acted as an all-in-one. Like they did the production, they were the studio, they were the agent, they got you the auditions, So it was kind of half online, half in person. And they had a location in Memphis, which was surprising to me because in Memphis we're known for the 3 Bs: blues, barbecue, and bullets. And because it wasn't on that list, and bullets being crime, that was a joke. The That's a joke, son. I'm supposed to laugh. That's what. I was like, that's only, and I looked up the location for their Memphis studio, and they're like, that's only like 15 minutes away from me. It's actually in my grandmother's neighborhood. And my ex gave me a great piece of advice. She's like, well, the worst they can do is say no. What do you got to lose? And that was a really good, that kind of started, it's the same philosophy from the movie Yes Man with Jim Carrey. Like when an opportunity presents itself, if it doesn't violate your own personal moral ethical codes or biblical law or whatever you believe in, then you just give it a shot. No, don't be afraid to try. The worst thing that can happen is they say no, or it doesn't work out, or it doesn't pan out to be anything. But at least, you
Because
never
if you
know.
don't ask, if you don't approach, it's definitely not going to happen.
I'll give you a great example. When I went on to work for Bumblebee movie, and I was up against Steve Bloom. Steve Bloom, if you don't know, one of the top voice actors in the industry, has worked on Transformers for many years, games, cartoons, you freaking name it. And they brought out a clipboard with all the characters that they had booked before. And I had only booked Optimus Prime, and only to fill in as Optimus Prime. And that was it. But I've been doing Transformers voices since I was 5. I was really good at them. I had 30 years of experience, like rehearsing these characters' voices. And so he's going down the list, done it, didn't do it, done it. So he's like almost every one of them he had booked before. And I'm like, and it was like the leftovers for me, which is only like 2 or 3 characters besides Optimus, which was what I was there for. But before I left, I was like, you know what? Fortune favors the bold. That's another way to put it. I was like, would you mind if I read for some of the other characters? Because I've been doing these voices for a long time and I'm really freaking good at these. He's like, you want to read some? Yeah, absolutely. And after I did like 6 of them, he's like, holy crap, John, you're blowing my freaking mind here. Like they sound like the real thing. That's amazing. Wow. And so that ended up with me getting not just filling in for Optimus and getting a check, because I wouldn't have even been credited had I just done the ADR. That's it.
Right.
I actually got characters in the final film and a credit, and that would not have happened if I just said, Bumblebee. Yeah, the worst they can do is say no. You just have to be.
I enjoyed that film. I finally got to see it.
It's a great freaking movie. Even if I hadn't worked on it, I would have loved it. But yeah, it was kind of like that. And I went down to the studio. It was close to Christmas, so I did the Night Before Christmas poem, and I did a different voice for every page. They were just in awe. They're like, "Can you come back?" They said, "We don't have a lot of copy that will work for what you can do." I'm like, I write too. I can come up with some stuff. So I wrote half of my stuff. The demo was kind of weird. It was kind of like one voice per clip. It should be like multiple voices on one track, but it was just like cowboy, politician, impression, sound. They just had a whole list. But they signed me the following January, and by February 1st, they gave me my first audition. And by February 11th, I'd booked my first gig. And it came off of one of the demo clips that I had written.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a fake ad called McGrady's, and I did Sam Elliott's voice for it, which is so funny because it doesn't sound like, that's more of a steak place voice. But I just thought Grady's, McGrady, or no, it's O'Grady's. O'Grady's got the best sandwich around, And it booked me a whole big campaign for this place called Texas Steakhouse.
You're blowing my mind a little bit, John, because a lot of these voices I've not heard you do before. This is
a lot of people
stuff.
don't. They just know me as the one voice. They don't realize that I do all kinds of voices every day, all day long. You just never hear it. It's all right. It's okay.
So is there a voice that's hard to do?
Of course, there are voices that are hard to do. Anytime I have to voice Megatron, I have to prepare. Megatron has a lot of gravel in his voice, a lot of air. And if you do it wrong, you could probably damage yourself and destroy your voice. Because he's a very grottal sound to him. But any creatures type stuff, any zombie stuff, big animal sounds, that kind of stuff. It's all mouth work and throat work. But if you hit these little parts right here somewhere, you could be like, ha.
Do you need some chicken noodle soup, John? Are you feeling okay?
I'm fine. I got good at this over 14 years of experience. But yeah, it's from there. It just I booked once a month, and I thought that wasn't very good. It was a couple of times I booked like 3, and I was like, shouldn't you be booking every day to be able to make a living at this? And I asked the producer, he's like, dude, we have people that have been repped with us for 5 years and have never booked a single job. You're doing great.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and the producer, actually, I'm still using the same microphone. This is still the same mic that he originally sold me. It's been refurbished since then, but he was getting rid of his old studio equipment. He used to be a voice actor, and he moved over to the engineering side. And he's like, I'm selling all this for $500 or $750, and it's a Rode NTK. It comes with its own power supply. It had a mic stand. It had a tray for your script, which I ended up not needing, and the pop filter, the shock mount for $750, and the mic itself was probably worth $1,200 at the time.
Wow.
And my late grandmother was only one member of my family that actually really truly believed in me at the time. Now I have a lot more support. I have a best friend. I've mentioned her to be on your thing. I've got a couple of other best friends that have been extremely supportive. Some of them, they're my heroes. My best friend Lee Tokar is an amazing voice actor that has been in this business for decades. Worked on Oscar-nominated, I think Oscar-winning or Emmy-winning shows, like multiple. He's freaking huge, and somehow I'm his hero. It's weird because it's like he's my hero and I'm his hero. So it's like he's just I've made some incredible friends and family, in my opinion.
I don't have friends. I have family. I live my life one voice at a time.
So I just kept doing it, and there would be another opportunity would come in, and something
Wow.
I started looking for every chance to put something out there and show people what I could do, like what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
No offense, but this is not exactly an Emmy nominated podcast, but you know what? It gets my voice out there.
Yet.
I'm here with Greg
Yet.
Nicotero. There you go. I'm here with Greg Nicotero. That's one step closer to getting on Walking Dead. And,
We can dream.
and being a primary cast member in Church People too. I mean, I'm halfway there, guys. That's the big leagues. The big leagues, you guys.
Have you
You gotta
even
always be
seen
working.
Church
I lost.
People One?
I'm gonna tell people I lost 150 pounds to be in Church People too, you guys.
It was
Work
the
out every
communion
day.
diet. It was not
They
very
have one
filling.
wafer and one glass of wine all day long. That's it. It's called the Catholic diet. Yeah, and then it was just something would pop up from the YouTube thing. It was YouTube, and then it was like YouTube happened. For Honest Trailers came from that. So did working for 2K Games, which was my first XCOM was my first AAA title, and everything I'd worked on before that was like Steam, Demons with a Shotgun, stuff nobody ever heard before. Even some of the stuff that I thought was small now, it's like, oh, you worked on 5 Minute Dungeon. I love that game. It's Dungeons and Dragons condensed down to 5 minutes. They sold that in Toys R Us. I had no idea. It was a Kickstarter. You have no idea what's gonna go where. You have
Wow.
just not a clue.
Yeah, and you voiced toys as well, like Star Wars
Yeah,
toys.
I
and stuff
have
like
one
that?
on I have one of the toys in my room. Like it's so funny.
Isn't
Sorry,
that wild?
checking to make sure that nobody gonna kill me for not leaving to eat. Yeah, so I'll tell you this one really quick story because it is kind of funny. Because it's funny for multiple reasons. So I'm a much bigger Transformers fan, obviously, than Star Wars. Don't get me wrong, I love Star Wars, and if they had called me and said you book Star Wars, I would have been ecstatic. But they called me and said you booked Transformers, and I'm like, oh. And I didn't even remember auditioning for Transformers. Oh, I'm sorry, it was Star Wars. I just said it wrong. I was like, oh, I booked Star Wars. Thanks. And now I'm disappointed that I booked Star Wars because she led with Transformers. And the audition was a bunch of lines for Anakin Skywalker. And I had recognized all the lines from the Clone Wars TV cartoon. So I was like, oh, okay, this is easy. I mean, Anakin Skywalker's voice is right here. It's very easy to do. It's coarse and it's rough and it gets everywhere. And so I figured it would be super simple. But then I get to the studio and there's no lines. It's just a list of names. Not even Captain Rex. It was just Rex. And effort sound, Ahsoka, R2. I was like, and not General Grievous. And it was like,
Wow.
where's the rest of the script? And they're like, this is the script. This is for an international toy. So the US version will have just clips from the show on it. The international version, we can't put anything in there that can be translated into any other languages. So lightsaber and Jedi do happen to be words that are international. I don't think you knew that, but now you can say Jedi in any country and they will know what that means.
Wow.
It can't be translated in another language. It's its own word. But that was the first time I had learned that.
That's wild.
So I had to act without words. Ahsoka, R2, Rex, Grievous. Oh, that was it. That was the whole thing all the way through. It was nuts. And I have that toy right in there. So a friend of mine from the UK was like, dude, I found your toy in the shelf. I'm sending you one. I'm like, holy crap. There
Well,
were some
before you-
US toys, the Captain Rex Clone Trooper, well, the half helmet, not the full one, but the one that's just the mask part. That one, the Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader, Star Wars Transformers quad changer, sorry, because he changes into 2 ships and 2 characters. So he's 4 different modes. It is one of the hunkiest, chunkiest, shelliest Transformer things I've ever seen. And it was like one of my go-to jokes at conventions when they were like, what other things you worked on? And I was like, I did this voice for da-da-da. You're welcome. Because every fan hates that toy. So it's always a big laugh. Because like, ugh, that one, I'm like, you're welcome. And then the Republic Attack Shuttle, which is a great it was like one of the big toys that year. And I thought that was cool. Because that would be like the big Christmas present for a lot of kids that were Transformers or Star Wars fans. See, I did it now for Transformers. Oh, Star Wars. So yeah, doing the voice for toys, that was a big check, and it was a big checklist to work on Star Wars, and it was a big checklist thing to work on toy voices. Because that way I can play with myself in public, and there's nothing anybody can do with it.
Well, you just did a Ryan Reynolds voice there, so
I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea who that is. Sounds like an amazing guy. Sounds like he would be full of smooth, delicious aviation American gin while he talked on his Mint Mobile cellular phone. While watching the Adam Project coming this Friday on Netflix.
And speaking of Mint Mobile, tell us how you got the Mint Mobile ad standing right next to Ryan Reynolds.
So I'll try to make this a short version because I feel like we're already running out of time. So we had collaborated on the Honest trailer for Deadpool because they had kind of borrowed the whole fake starring thing for their movie, and it was automatic. He knew the value of getting that out because that video went viral like that because it was really. But to this day, people are like, "Oh, that was you doing Ryan's voice." I was like, "No, that was really Ryan." Or was it? It really was. It was actually Ryan. He was in Europe recording for 6 Underground, which I also did work on. And so he wasn't in the country at the same time, but he sent his audio overseas, and we edited it together. So that's how it was introduced to me personally, but I didn't actually have any interaction with it, but he knew who I was. Right. And then I booked the Hitman's Bodyguard trailer, the first movie, and he recognized it instantly. And then he put at the end of the trailer, #EpicVoiceGuy. And I was like, wow. That got me a lot of followers. If he had added me, that'd have been a little better. But I'm not gonna hold it over your head, Ryan. I'm still mad because you've done that twice to me. Hashtags don't work as good as ads. You're never gonna see this. I'm sorry. He doesn't listen to podcasts. He's allergic. So ears swell up and start to bleed. So I was on his radar at that point, and I was one of the first people doing Ryan Reynolds impressions online and social media, and then TikTok kind of blew up for me, and Maximum Effort spotted it, and then they reached out to my agent, and they had pitched it to me as being like filling in for Ryan, as like we're trying to save our clients money by switching out this one for this one. Oh,
that's funny. That's great.
That was kind of the concept. But then I get there, and then it says Epic Voice Guy, not Ryan Reynolds' voice. I'm like, oh, they got the information wrong. And when I met him, I explained, he's like, oh, I get. He's like, sorry, I don't know if you knew that I actually fill in for your voice. And he's like, oh, I know you do, and you do better than the other guys. And I was like, oh, cool. So he knows. And then at the end of the commercial, he had the idea to flip the script around and have me do his voice, which I thought was freaking genius. And we didn't even say it out loud. He just said, director, move this line in here. He's like, oh, I know what you're doing. He's like, Johnny, are you with me? I was like, oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. So we went through that face he had in the commercial. That was real, because I'd only talked like this until it was time to work. And I was like, ready. And then I did the thing. Right now, get 6 months free when you buy a phone and a 6-month plan. And his face was just like, oh, holy crap. And then he's like, oh, so good. Now do me. And it's like, right now, get 6 months free when you buy a T-Mobile phone or a new cell phone at a 6-month plan. And the room just exploded after he yelled cut. And some guy in the back was like, holy crap, that sounded just like Ryan. Nobody else there knew that I did anything other than the trailer voice until that moment.
That is cool.
Like, Ryan instantly goes, that's the one right there. He's like, that's the one we're going to end up doing, I guarantee it.
Because he's like, had any contact since then or no?
No, I mean, honestly, there's been a little bit of online interaction. He's always been very kind to do that kind of stuff, but I haven't tried. I try not to push it.
Oh, sure.
I try not to be like, hey, bro, let me get your digits. Let's hang out. Let's be buddies. You and Blake invite me and Santana over to chill and hang, and
well, at least he could hook you up with a free phone.
You know, you think I did reach out to Mint Mobile. It's like, hey, my phone is a piece of garbage. I'm starting a Kickstarter called sadphoneguy.com. It's in really bad shape, guys. It's the black hole has started to spread in the corner of the screen. So yeah. So you can go my GoFundMe is available at a Big Wise Guys Poor. No. Anyways.
What is your as we're wrapping up, what's your favorite voice you do?
The favorite voice is a tie between Optimus Prime and Ryan Reynolds' voice. Ryan Reynolds is more new, but it's just so much fun. It's so easy to do for me because, I mean, you can hear it even in my normal voice. You can hear a little bit of Ryan's voice.
Yeah.
All I have to do is make a certain few changes, and it's already right there. Because he has to hide that Canadian accent. He's a little more pronounced, but he's got that back of the throat kind of soft and that smart S. He is a smart S. Yes, he is. You see what I did there? And Optimus Prime was, I mean, Peter Cullen's original voice of, well, I had first heard it in Voltron, but the intro part, and then, but also, by the way, just I love you, Peter. He's not a huge fan of me because I fill in, but some of his worst characters are in Voltron, so not the cartoon itself. The intro was the cool part. That Voltron, defender of the universe, that just, it blew me away. I was just instantly taken with it. And I was like, I want to be that, not that voice, but I want to be the voice that people go, wow, that was amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I heard it again in Transformers as Optimus Prime. Autobots transform and roll out. And I was instantly hooked. So between that one and this one, I mean, it's hard to pick a favorite.
Yeah.
I bet you're a lot of fun at drive-through windows, aren't
You know, you'd think if I wasn't battling crippling depression that I would be really fun at parties. But it's fake laugh hiding real pain. How about a crisp high five? There you go. Tragic origin stories go. All happened when we walked out of theater. My parents were shot by the Joker. Pearls fell down. I decided I was going to be vengeance. I am not. I am Captain Deadpool. No, just Deadpool.
Well, you know what I think it's time for, Kevin Kolbe?
Adventure time. Oh, sorry.
So we have this thing we call over under.
Okay.
Gonna ask
Sounds
you 5
sexual,
things.
I'm not gonna.
No. 5 things,
As long
and
as you don't look me in the eye, it puts me off.
you say whether you think it's overrated or underrated.
Okay, gotcha. All right, got it.
All right, ready?
Underwear and overrated. All right.
Yeah. DC superhero movies.
Overrated.
Because?
I thought this was just a go at running gun.
Okay, fine. We'll just keep going.
All right, that's fine. No, I'll say I'm probably in the minority here, but I thought that movies like The Batman and movies like Justice League, they're just dragging on too long. They're doing a lot of redundant things. They're using so much slow motion. I mean, I could already hear the Honest trailer in my head watching The Batman. And I'm not even one of the writers. It's like the man who's known from coming out of the shadows comes out of the shadows for 10 minutes while he slowly walks through the corridor, announcing his presence with every single stab.
So you've already written it, yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez. I mean, it's like, I like the Batman in the intro of the Batman animated series, who just shows up behind him and his eyes just open up. That's the Batman that I was expecting, because this is the detective Batman. And him not even having to pull his hands out of his cloak, he's just dodging stuff. Like, not even having to. Pattinson took a lot of hits. That's all I'm saying. I know he's new. I know he's only a 2-year rookie. He's trained by the League of Shadows. You're better than this, bro. I'm just saying. Took a lot of hits. I'm just going to start calling you Rocky Batboa. Because you took a lot to the face, kid. You're a bum. You're a bum, Pattinson.
All right, over under. TikTok.
TikTok, definitely overrated.
Really?
Because you have people on there. No offense, I love you guys, and I'm friends with a few of you, but you have no talent whatsoever. And more talent at the tip of my pinky, because this is a censored show, than you do in your entire bodies.
And you, of course, would not be talking about my TikTok whatsoever.
How do you get millions of views? How are you doing this? I want to know.
He's definitely not talking
I want
about
to know. All
my
you have to
TikTok.
do is just shake something or wear something and just do something, and then you're millions of views later, you're famous. And I'm like riding and buying and paying for sets and crews and cast members and trailers with frappuccinos for the cast, and I get 5 views. And no, it's not that bad. It's very inconsistent there. You put a lot of effort into something, or something's really good, and then nothing, because the algorithm's just like, meh, didn't really like that one.
Video on demand.
Video on demand, I think, is underrated. Because it just feels like it's just so much. I don't even know why we're still doing physical media anymore, unless that's just for the poor folks. That's just for the folks that still have the DivX players, because that was the cheap one. They don't play DivX no more. I mean, I just don't see. I mean, digital copies just seems. Well, I mean, I get it. If there's a nuclear weapon fired off in space, we're all screwed. Our digital copies are all gone because we know that the EMP from that would just wipe out our collections. But they're saved in the cloud, you guys. They're up there in the clouds. Magically in the ether.
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp is very overrated. I'm sorry.
Ooh.
I'm sorry. I mean, he's just very good at playing one character and different variations of that character. He's not really British. He's not British. Why does everyone think he's British just because he does a British accent? It's just the accent that made him the most money.
And the last one.
He's kind of grimy and slimy most of the time. I'm just like,
The last one, I got to ask you, overrated, underrated, Mint Mobile.
Mint Mobile, it's definitely underrated. It is the best phone, best service. And we're saving the customers money by using guys like me in our commercials.
You didn't ask him that one of the names of our podcast.
No, I had to shift. I had to get Ryan in here one more
right.
time.
Well, I want to ask one.
All right.
Pizza.
Yeah. Honestly, overrated.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Because it's not you guys. It's not you. It's me. It's because I'm mildly lactose intolerant, and just the combinations of whatever is in pizza do not go well with me. It's great here, not so much here or here. Right here, problem there, and down there, it does not. It definitely goes in easier than it comes out. That's all I'm gonna say. And then,
well, what are you gonna have for lunch? What are you gonna have for lunch?
Pizza.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Set them up.
Great pizza place.
Where's the best place for anybody to follow you and just find out more of your stuff?
Planet Earth, usually. Right around the Americas region. Epic Voice Guy. Just type in Epic Voice Guy on any major platform, and I'm probably already there. Starting work on my OnlyFans right now. I apologize for the third nipple shots. You guys wanted to pay for it. That's what you get. Hashtag third nipple. Sorry,
Thank you.
Hashtag Epic Voice Guy at Epic Voice Guy.
I realized I didn't do any epic voices for you the entire time.
Yeah, no, you did the Batman. You did the Batman,
but I didn't do the epic voice.
That's true. You didn't do the epic. Well, you could sign us off then in the epic voice if you'd like.
Follow at Epic Voice Guy on all the social media platforms. Coming soon, and listen to insert podcast name here.
Now you can use it wherever you want.
Wherever we want.
Blue pizza. And that's how Chris died. Laughing over here like freaking what's his name?
My
crap.
face is
Dom DeLuise.
Oh yeah. Oh, thank you so much for being on this.
Dom DeLuise, Greg Nicotero. It's always a pleasure. Thanks so much for having me on the show.
Thank you for joining us, John Bailey, Epic Voice Guy, and enjoy your lunch. And thank the hungry people who have let you.
I will thank her most definitely. Remember, everybody, don't have a good day. Have a great day. Amen. Hashtag Adam Project now on Netflix this Friday.